Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking weapon mastery on our fighter class and using any weapon we can find or purchase quickly. We're trying to get as many kills as possible across multiple different weapons, never using the same weapon twice. So I gave myself an hour for this challenge and thought, let's just go base kit fighter in normal lobbies and see how chaotic this can get. Never really tried this before, and there's a lot of weapons in this one that I've pretty much never used. So, starting off, just gonna run basically to the spawn, stopping by a few chests along the way, hoping we can find a weapon to upgrade from this armor sword. Armor sword is on the list, so I will need to use it eventually, but it's quite nice to find something en route to what I know is a pretty common spawn. Not seeing anyone in this area has me kind of confused, so we're gonna need to deal with this. Deal with this guy as fast as possible. In my head, I'm kind of wondering, is there a rogue hidden here somewhere? We do find something unique. That's his Y-hander. And of course, this poor player must not have spawned in, or something must have happened. That technically does count as our first kill on a more unique weapon. However, I was kind of let down by that, and I was going to push it a little further. So we keep this Y-hander, and we go hunting a little further. Speeding through the dungeon as fast as we can. We are in this just to get kills as quickly as possible. Not paying too much attention to mobs, we need to move forward and onward, hoping to run into somebody. And sure enough, a cleric. And we'll put this Y-hander to test, see if we can space ourselves properly with these crazy swings. Getting used to the spacing is very difficult. I cannot believe we didn't clip him in the head there. I tried the right click, which is a horrible mistake because he's a lot closer than I expected. As we bob and weave, trying to cleave this guy in the face with this giant sword. He backs off after one hit, which gives us an opportunity to swing again. We do connect with that underhand. Unfortunately, we're taking mob damage as well, but this guy's taken a couple big swings and then another, which leads him to run, and we must now become pursuer. Bit of luck on that trap, and then a giant cleave to the back of this guy's Achilles. Leaves us with our first kill with this Y-hander. Now, moving into another one, I hope we get a decent spawn that allows us to loot a little bit of gear. Even just finding a generic white weapon, a huge upgrade over this armor sword. Right off the hop, we see a Barbarian close by. Isn't it a great start? That Barbarian is likely a little more geared. Truthfully, probably isn't wielding a starter weapon. We're gonna kind of hopefully sneak a little bit of loot here as we kind of skirt around the edges of this. Basically just picking up scraps, anything we can find. He has not spotted us yet. That is going to last not a lot longer. Poison Cloud. Poison Cloud's a dead giveaway. There's a player close by. We need to make some room for ourselves in case this goes poorly. Nothing, unfortunately, from that chest as well. Although, this guy is kind of pulling a bunch of mobs, which I wasn't expecting. If I saw a player that close to me, I would not be going below pulling a bunch of mobs, including Goblin Mage. So we try to find some more little items, and nothing of real value is popping up. Hoping for like some boots or light boots. You find these boots, which is nice. That will help us. Keep pace with this Barbarian. We hear him getting pushed by mobs, and now is our time to shine, as this could be our only opportunity to really take a chunk out of this guy for free. Landing 2 hits to the back of him before he even registered them. We start dodging that double axe, which is pretty easy to dodge, honestly. The swing speed on a lightly geared Barbarian is horrible. And we're just gonna punch this guy. And of course, we punch a Barbarian to death. Which is kind of crazy. It's been a long time since I've done that. Usually you're the one getting smacked around by their fists. We had that guy kind of in a bad spot. Before we can even loot him, we have a ranger pushing us. Unfortunately, making it almost impossible to loot our kill. Looks like he had some health potions, which I desperately need. We need to try to find a way to get close to him and deal with this ranger. Using our sprint, we can catch him with our sword and shield out, but we get caught up and the silly jumps, and he makes it away from us. This is going to be a recurring theme. Get a couple hits in, pops a heal, and runs. Runs and runs and runs. Once again, we have him almost where we want him. Landing a couple swings, we get caught on the stairs, and the chase is on again. I know we placed a trap over here, I heard it earlier, so this is not something I want to run into. So we're just going to leave him be for now, hoping we get a better opportunity. He opens that door once again to return, pelt us with arrows. So we need to get some space. Don't really take free damage here. We don't have, like I said, we don't have any meds, which makes it quite difficult. I'm very much hoping we'll get an opportunity to loot that Barbarian. But we have to be kind of patient here. Killing this giant bat gives us a somewhat unique opportunity to try out a Stiletto. Something I guess might work, but the reduced weapon damage you get, or bonus damage you get from having weapon mastery on these off meta or off fighter weapons does make a difference. And something that already hits so little, like a gray or white Stiletto, it's even worse. So we're gonna try to make the most of it, and we get cornered by a wizard after escaping from that rogue. Somehow we did not manage to grab all the health potions. Kind of left us in a bit of a bind once again with no meds. So this room is just now becoming more and more crowded. And I need to get a little bit of a breather here. A little bit of a breather. I don't really feel like I want to be 1v1ing that wizard quite yet. He may not give us a choice. Sounds like he's very close by. Maybe now it's time to try to get that Stiletto kill. Knock this weapon off our list. Pushing to the upper level, we do hear him close. This man wearing like no clothing is going to be incredibly difficult to catch. We missed two of our swings, which was quite poor. And Stiletto's pinpoint hitbox is very, very frustrating. Especially if you're not familiar with the weapon. And this guy just decides he's going for it. Walking right across the spike traps, he slows us as we once again try to get within Stiletto range. I figured he'd be pushing us, but he actually runs for the hills. Maybe he took more damage to the trap than I realized. He's gone. He's literally gone. It's kind of surprised me. I felt like he had the upper hand there where I was stuck behind that pillar. Maybe he was running out of spells. And once we arrive up top, we get a Slayer fighter just crouched in the corner. Which is not something I want to be fighting. With no real damage. I don't have Slayer equipped myself. The arming sword's doing nothing. And luckily enough, no one really pursued us into this room, so we could clear it. And allow ourselves to hide in the corner over here to get some of our HP back. Hearing some of the commotion outside, kind of hoping someone just steps into this room quietly. Like no HP, so I can just Stiletto them to death. Because I can already tell I'm going to be very frustrated when using this weapon. The Slayer fighter has no idea. We've tucked ourselves into this corner, I guess, quite perfectly. And he did hear a ranger trap, which distracted him in the far room. He is not thinking about me at all. After a short time, we do regain quite a bit of our HP. Stand up before anybody gets too close. Hearing a player close by, we still have a very good opportunity. And I want to get this kill with the Stiletto. Pretty sure this is a green lizard, which is not surprising. Pretty oblivious to the world around them. Hoping we can catch him with his head down. We lunge in and miss our headshot at the start. Then it's just a race to see who can deal as much damage, swinging back and forth like madmen or mad lizards. And unfortunately, we do not succeed. So very sad, but so very frustrating, that one. All basically because I missed the initial headshot as he juked away. Just in time literally just in time. That's okay. We have a lot more weapons and a lot more stuff we can do. We're gonna jump back in and try again. In this one, we get kind of an interesting spawn. I always like going up top because there's so much good loot, but also there's a spawn right over here. I'm hoping we finally get our arming sword kill. We're gonna push whoever is behind this door. This is a very aggressive bard. Seriously had me quite worried. Very, very worried. He definitely had the high ground. And that rapier was swinging quite quickly. Luckily, my hoon skull. I get people telling me I pronounce it wrong all the time, but my hoon skull, or yeah, hoon skull, right? Hoon skull. My hoon skull helmet probably saved a few headshots, or at least some of the damage from those headshots. That also gives us a weapon we can use, maybe get another kill with, because we have used the arming sword already, so we do need to find something fresh and new to kill people with. Looting this chest, we get another stiletto. And it's a green stiletto, so it's a little better. It's a little better, but still kind of disappointing. Not really the weapon of choice, and something I'm quite horrible with, but we're gonna make it work. Hearing a player underneath us fighting centipede. We get this idea. Now is the time. Killing people that are farming centipede is always entertaining. Usually they're not super low HP, but watching them try to evade the poison or centipede tailing them, it's quite funny. This time it's a wizard, or maybe a warlock, which is kind of unique. Warlock kills are hard to come by. This guy's a bit messed up. I don't really know what's going on. Yes, Phantomize. It must have Phantomize and spells, but it's not casting any spells, so perhaps he does have Blow of Corruption. But the fortunate part is we don't know what he had. Like, he just died to poison. Kind of a sad way to go. I didn't even get to shank him once with the stiletto, which is very disappointing. Which means I have to keep using this weapon. Seeing how he had a bardiche on him, I would much rather use the bardiche. But I'm committed to the stiletto now and making it work. We will take the bardiche in case we get the opportunity. Let's make sure we have enough room for it. And then not too long after this, we spot another player. This guy's a little more chill. He just wants to hang out. But I definitely have rogue thoughts going through my mind. Especially with the stiletto in my hand. Or, in this moment, a fire bottle.
Are you waiting for this? I'm waiting for this, man.
Knowing we're going to need every advantage we can get, we decided to toss the fire bottle and get this thing rolling. Trying my best to leap over this thing without taking damage has been somewhat of a failure the last couple attempts, but we hear a bow, which means we're going to need to make the gap regardless. Getting 3 solid hits in the back. We feel like we're 1 hit away. Another headshot. And unfortunately, we just can't land enough of them consistently. We just can't land enough of them. It's so frustrating. I feel like 3 or 4 should be tops, all you need, and it's like 5, 6, 7. How many stabs? Who knows? But we messed up once again, as we're most common with weapons that have sweeping attack animations, so you can kind of drag them into your targets, especially when they're stepping side to side. Stiletto, you need to have it on their body, following them the whole time back and forth, or else you will not be hitting. You will not be hitting any stabs at all. Unfortunate, and I am down with the stiletto. As we find a double axe quite early on in this one. Quite early. So double axe is going to be our weapon of choice for a short time. Not sure how I feel about that. Double axe fighter. I guess maybe we could adrenaline rush if we had it. And perhaps that could be a solid option if you're going to do this type of challenge, simply because so many weapons just feel so slow. And it's like a rogue's little dream scenario is to juke in and out of double axe or battle axe swings, dealing poison damage or rupture damage with a rapier. At least we found a recurve bow, which will give us 8 arrows to deal with something at range. And then we're gonna have to rely on that double axe, which is kind of concerning. We found a few more pieces. There's a player just outside here. We'll see if we can make something happen with this bow or axe. See a wizard. See a warlock, and it looks like a warlock and a wizard fighting. It's maybe a decent opportunity to make some plays with this recurve bow, giving us another kill with a different weapon. We missed our first shot, which is not great. Now they both know we're here. Eat an ice spike to the face. We need to land as many hits as possible. I'm quickly running out of arrows. 2 arrows left. This guy's gotta be low. We miss, and we're down to our last one. Luckily, we tag him in the chest, which gives us our 4th kill. And now we have battle axe as well. Battle axe, probably a little bit easier to use than double axe. As we're clearing some mobs down below, we hear another guy close by. And in this crazy world of Dark and Darker, magic staff is actually scarier than a double axe or battle axe. You can blow corruption meat in between swings, which he just did. Now we are seriously struggling. It is impossible. Yeah, it's so tough. Trying to land hits with such slow weapons, so frustrating. It feels so punishing. And so rewarding for the people that are dodging them. It's like, I'll just step out of the way of this double axe and I'll probably win this fight. I'm not sure how you make the weapon successful, or what you need to do in fighter other than maybe adrenaline rush sprint and just get literally right on top of them and just DPS check everybody. That is it. Trying to go in this like back and forth little engagements where speed and mobility becomes a factor is very challenging. Jumping into another game, we find a Morningstar quite early on. That's another one of those weapons that's difficult to space yourself with. So luckily we found this halberd. Taking a bit of a rest here. We know there's a rogue close by. We're gonna see if we can land a little surprise attack on rogue. One thing that does give me confidence is the fact that halberd has kind of a nice alternate attack with the sweeping wide swings you get. Kind of cleans up fights quickly when dealing with a rogue, because generally speaking, you only need to land 2 hits, especially since halberd has no sour spot, which is kind of brutal. You only really need to land 2 hits, and landing those 2 hits is a lot easier when you're sweeping side to side. Trying to track this guy down, we hear him close by. Just need to make sure we don't get caught in a stealth landmine moment. Hearing his steps, it's time to start sweeping. And he ducks perfectly into that halberd swing, giving us a halberd shaft headshot. This guy was kind of loaded, not gonna lie. He was out here farming these poor new players. We get like a full kit upgrade here, so hopefully we can make it out alive. But I do want to try to get a kill with this rapier, or maybe even Morningstar before exiting. Grabbing everything we can, because I will buy some stuff from Weaponsmith if I do get an escape, and it will allow us to try some weapons that we find in the merchant window. One more player close by. We'll try this little stealth technique again. Invis potions are so crazy good. This guy is kind of sneaking a little close, but not quite close enough. After our first potion begins to wear off, we try to sneak into another spot with the second potion. However, zone just gets ahead of us. Now we're in another standoff versus rogue. And this rogue knows better. He knows not to get in range of this halberd with no sour spot. Switching to rapier, maybe that'll give us an opportunity to close the gap. Still a little worried about this guy to our left. Switching off halberd as I realized I had a kill with that. So we need to be using this rapier or Morningstar. And truthfully, I trust rapier, maybe rapier a little more versus a rogue than I do Morningstar. Trying to chip him away. We actually tag him with a knife, which is quite nice. Gives me a little bit of hope. And then I get a little brave. Maybe a little too brave. As we chase this rogue into a dark corner. We start dealing damage, he starts dealing damage, and our health is just plummeting like crazy. I was quite shocked. I was like, man, I was expecting to take a few more hits from that rondel before it became a problem. And blue rondel is not that bad. That's like 5 or 6 weapon damage higher than their base rondel. And did certainly hurt. Unfortunately, no rapier kill. We jump into another one, and we find a hatchet. I'm not gonna lie to you, I absolutely hate the hatchet. It's a horrible, horrible weapon, but we're gonna try to make it work. We get ourselves in a great goblin cave situation, where I'm trying to get out of this room, and there's a goblin archer blocking the door. I'm gonna have to run down to this room, which is full of like 6 skeletons, it feels like. 1 lobbing arrows at me, 1 swinging a 2-handed weapon, and then 2 hidden just around the corner. We start to pull more, we start to take some damage from the archer. And then also have to dodge an axeman skelly. This room is horrid in HR. We get a couple of red skeletons. Good luck. Trying to block that as well. Lands us a nice little arrow to the eyeball. Which is going to cost us. It's going to cost us our med. Probably the ale. And also second wind. Only reason why I'd be using the ale is because it does slightly bump your total HP. Giving your second wind a little bit more healing. Very, very minor details though. Making use of this healing, we're going to take a quick rest. And we hear a player close by. Some pots start breaking. Things are happening in the hallway beyond. We need to be careful because I'm not quite sure what matchup works well for us with this hatchet. I can almost guarantee it's very, very few of them. We heard this player super close, so now we're a little bit hesitant. And the last thing I want is to aggro this mob the second before a fight. Thankfully, he turns the other way. Switching back to our trusty hatchet, a rogue appears in the darkness when we clobber him in the face. And then followed up with a couple more swings and just absolutely chopped this man to death. It was a very, very brutal fight, which left us both dead. We did, however, get our 6th kill. We're now getting quite a ways into our hour. I seriously thought we'd have maybe some better results. If that stiletto kill had happened, we'd have been on our way and we wouldn't have had to touch the weapon again. Which cost us some valuable time. And now going into this one, we have no new weapons to try, so we're just going to need to take this guy out with arming sword and hope we can get his battle axe. Once again, dodging his swings. The goblin warrior decides to take matter in his own hands and just smash that guy from behind. He got cartwheeled down those stone ramps. Grabbing some potions, we heal up. We have a battle axe and a horseman's axe. I'm likely going to switch to the horseman's axe. The game decides it wants to swing with my right click. We start bashing into this wall. And then even stranger things happen with the game. So I'm jumping over this. I notice a hatchet, which is horrible, but I get some crazy lag right there. The whole game freezes. And then there's like a very loud spike of audio. And then nothing. Everything I did didn't change this. So we just have to try to succeed with no audio, which is one of the weirdest ways I've ever played. So we're gonna make the most of this old school RuneScape fill-in music, and maybe the odd sound effect or two. We spot a guy across the room, wielding a bow. Hoping he gets down these steps a little closer to us, I just want to sprint into this guy's face and chop him to pieces with this horseman's axe, similar to what we did with the hatchet. Very, very similar weapons, both terrible. So making the most of this, we're just gonna need to go for it and see what happens. Sitting here in the darkness with no audio is horrible. Juking, dodging, doing everything possible. Try to lure out this crossbow bolt. We pop our sprint. And now he closes the door on us. And it looks like he has a longsword, so this will be an interesting one. We nearly get stuck, which could have ended this fight quite poorly. However, we were able to land the finishing blow and then get the heck out of here with 7 kills so far. And hopefully our audio comes back. We actually needed to restart the entire game. Never had that happen before, but it was not fun. Restarting this game, we're at level 7. And we did take projectile resistance at level 5. Just to give us a little bit more durability. We're going to buy a spear in case the shop changes. It is a weapon I want to try. And then taking this battle axe we earned last game. Battle axe fighter. Battle axe anything just feels kind of bad, truthfully. That speed and basically lack of mobility is not fun, as we're about to witness. Getting distracted by this player in the distance, we did not realize. We did not realize there's a rogue just casually sitting in the darkness. He gets the upper hand. Luckily, we're still alive. We need to now regain some of our HP. Try our hardest to make this battle axe work. It is just so difficult with the movement speed. Do one good jump swing, which lands a nice shot to the neck. However, unable to drag this through this guy as he's juking side to side. Likely should have switched to the sideways chop. We would have had that one. We just needed one more swing. Which is okay. That's okay. We can now try out Spear, which is a weapon I kind of liked. Very much enjoyed for a long time. And I can just assure you, after this experience, there's a reason why I have not been using it. This kind of proves some of why. Doing what we can to keep space from this guy's felling axe. It's a very strange fighter setup. I'm gonna hurt him a bit with this, and then move in to keep our distance with our spear. Spear sour spot does exist, and 60% damage is not great. We land some nice headshots, followed up with a smash to the dome. This guy is pretty much one shot, and now he's relying on second wind, and I need to get him killed as fast as possible. Unfortunately, felling axe was able to get on top of us, and I knew it. I knew he was like 1 HP. 1 HP, literally. Second wind saved his life there. That little half tick or whatever happened while we were chasing him.
Not trying to fight.
Saved him. This guy's not trying to fight, but truthfully, I'm desperate at this point. We've taken some L's. I feel rusty, as if I haven't played this game enough lately. And I will take any kill I can get. He starts to scare me a little, so we have to back up here. Get sprint going and second wind, and then finish him off. But later on, we do find another plate fighter matchup, and this is why I don't like Spear. You're slower than people using sword and shield. You can't back up with the weapon, and turning like this is just a death sentence. Once they're on top of you, you deal no damage. The minus 40 movement speed is horrible, and the base weapon damage on the weapon itself is not great, considering he can just sword and shield and catch me with sprint at any moment. You play a faster class, they can just jump inside your sour spot range, and you deal nothing. So we didn't do horrible. We didn't do as amazing as I'd hoped. 9 kills. We played for an hour and 10 games. So it was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm kind of debating whether I'll continue something like this in the future. I just wanted to try something different, or at least force myself to try some different weapons. And generally speaking, it was a ton of fun, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.